I mean, how's this meant to combat the logic of if all horizontals are parallel to the horizon?
Okay. So are you going to avoid just the obviousness of this conversation to act like you don't know what's going on? Because we've already gone over this, and it was actually simpler before I changed the color on it, for you to understand that one box was the horizon, the other one was whatever tool we're using, a spirit level or whatever, to show that these two lines are parallel to each other. And I'm trying to show you that when we're looking at the horizon and we're using, say, a small spirit level or a 3 foot, doesn't matter how big it is, at that point, it is parallel. I'm showing you that right now. But it doesn't mean, and it doesn't prove that it's not a globe because of this. Because that's how you keep making it seem. You keep making it seem, well, because that horizontal and that horizon are parallel.
You're not making a scene, Sean.
I am?
No, I said I'm not making a scene. Do you think? I think you're actually making a fool out of yourself, but I wouldn't say you're making so at all.
A scene. I think I'm explaining it exceptionally well. And up until the point where you realize that those two lines that were parallel in one picture weren't actually truly parallel to the whole horizon, I think that's when you kind of switched off and then made it seem as if I didn't know what I was talking about. But you've already made it clear that you understood what I was saying, and that you understood
Sean,
what I was showing you.
Where would this happen? Just give us a hint on where you would find a horizontal not parallel to the plane of the horizon.
When you're standing on the beach, compared to someone who's 5 miles down that.
Do you a t-shirt if you want?
Doing the same test.
Have you seen the logic that they're going to be doing over at Bob's?
This is true.
The potato list.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't even make it to the potato list, Sean. So
the potato list.
Yeah.
You're a nobody.
I know I am. I never said I wasn't somebody.
You're doing a QE.
Do you a t-shirt if you want?
We've presented you with some logic, and what you have done is done a QE and shown us a picture of something that isn't related to it at all. And I say I would be able to help show him what a proof is by proving to him it is not flat.
You don't understand.
He exposed the trick for everyone to see.
You don't understand.
And we all saw it, right?
It's not my problem.
You must have seen our thingy logic, right? T-shirt logic. Shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, right? The definition is the proof. Can be checked, verified, and made sure. Now, that makes you understand what a straight line is, right?
Okay, but in that, saying the definition isn't a proof. Because I could still need to verify that, right?
Yeah.
Once it's verified,
it becomes proof.
So all the ways that I would verify it would be the evidence that build upon that proof.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So that would constitute a proof for the straight line. What would you say a proof? What would you say a proof is? What would you say a proof is?
You don't understand.
Do you a t-shirt if you want, Sean?
It's not my problem if you don't want to learn. You're just on your own.
Those lines are horizontal to each other. There's no doubt about it. I'm not going to argue that. It's clear. See, that they're horizontal. They're parallel to each other because what you're looking at is a curved line.
Where?
That is parallel to your straight line.
If all horizontals are parallel to the plane of the horizon, then all horizontals are parallel to each other.
Better yet, no. Those lines actually aren't parallel, but at that point they are.
Magic trick, Sean. That's terrible. You are no wizard. These tricks do not work.
I was saying in general, if you're referencing one horizontal to another horizontal, it's going to be from point to point. Okay, are those two lines parallel?
No.
You don't understand.
Do you a t-shirt if you want, Sean?
You don't understand. my problem if you don't want to learn. You're just on your own.
But the horizon part of that picture is not a straight
No
line.
reason, no logic, no wisdom, no worries.
Is not a straight line.
You're just on your own. No reason, no logic, no answers to questions.
Is not a straight line.
You're just on your own.
Right? Look.
It's a circle.
Are those two lines parallel to each other?
No, one of them's a circle. The other one's a straight line.
Do you a t-shirt if you want, Sean.
I was just trying to show you that the horizontals are always parallel to the plane of the horizon. Therefore, all horizontals have to be parallel to each other. I can't listen to Bob while you're doing anything, Sean. I'm just doing
I can't listen to Bob.
Yeah. I don't know whether you want to listen to Bob. But he's
I
getting
don't
all
think
of
Sean
the
wants
kids.
to listen to him either.
Nah, I don't need to hear him promote his next video.
I told you guys.
He's going to do a series on him. He's getting his astrolabe this week. He said he's going to order it.
He's going to do a series on him promoting experiment he did.
When he gets his astrolabe, he's going to be able to do a series on them. It's got 1,000 different functions. It's like the old school fucking computer. And Bob's all into that. Slide rules, sextants, astrolabes.
He puts a lot of effort into something he doesn't care to talk about.
He's proving the globe, right? He's showing how stupid those flat earthers are by setting up an adult Globe Earth Discord server, because there's a lot of interest in the globe, you know? Adults as well.
I wouldn't say
The sextant. Did you get your sextant?
no.
No.
I have like a little miniature one, but I don't even know how to use
Find
it.
them online. There's that many sextants been bought this year. To buy second-hand ones, yeah.
I didn't know that was the case.
Yeah. Yeah, 10th Man started a hell of a trend with the flat earthers by saying it was a proof of a flat earth. Then, you see, the Globers then decide that, well, they can't have the flat earthers having a proof with the sextant, so they best go and get their sextants and get the globe proof with it. All knowing at the same time that you can't prove fuck all with an angle. And everybody knows it, but I mean, hey, sales are up. It's all good. You wait till we get into the middle of this year. Did you see what happened yesterday, Sean? I bet it's a fucking... Everybody's talking about it, aren't they?
I didn't. I wasn't around that much yesterday.
Nathan Oakley had a debate outside of his own server.
What the?
Yeah.
Where was this at?
Yeah, have you not heard? Oh, man. Fucking one of the best debates you'll ever hear. Right?
Did he
You want to
embarrass
hear
himself?
the best debaters ever go at it.
Who did he debate?
Flat Earth Math.
That guy's a nice guy. Did Nathan get all rowdy and irate?
I do believe he was talking about his penis, yes. I don't think balls came into it. But yeah,
So
there was a bit of penis talk.
I remember when Nathan used to be a nice guy. It was crazy. I mean, he was so polite. He didn't cuss. It was a thing. It was a special time.
I always had the idea that like Nathan would be a marvelous debater.
He used to be like as respectful as you can think of. He had all good talking points. Like he knew he was very well spoken. He didn't, he's not what he is now. He did a complete 180.
Yeah, I must admit, last night was a bit.
That's when he was a potato.
I wouldn't say depressed now. I'm trying to think of the word. Um,
Well, the big question is, do you think that Nathan is a vital part of the flat Earth? Do you think he's getting anywhere
oh,
with his
Nathan is
live streams?
definitely a massive part of the flat Earth, right?
But is it a good thing or is it a bad thing?
Well, I think they're ending it, right? The flat Earth is going.
Yeah, there's nothing. You can only talk about so many things so many times.
Yep, you can only keep that thing going round and round because the flat Earth, globe Earth argument is becoming ridiculous.
Now, I remember last time we talked, you were talking about that. Was it David Weiss, that Bitcoin thing? What happened with that?
Well, we're still trying to find out what people think about proof. It's still one of the hot topics. I'm trying to get to talk to Dave Weiss. Yeah.
You said that if you can clarify what proof is for him, that you would prove that it was a globe Earth.
No. I said I would prove to him, or be able to prove to him, it's not flat.
You didn't say it was because it was a globe.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say I'd be able to prove it was a globe, right?
But didn't you say he wanted globe proof? And you said
he wants globe proof, yes. But I still need to know what proof is, what he thinks proof is. And I say I would be able to help show him what a proof is by proving to him it is not flat, right? In an actual proof.
When you're saying flat, you mean piece of paper flat or flat Earth?
Like what does flat mean to you?
Well, there's two different.
There's two
definitions of it, basically. Yeah, you can be talking about flat like a piece of paper, or you can be talking flat like flat earthers would be talking about with topography.
I see. I'm not like I'm talking to Dave Weiss about it now. I know he says he's a flat earther, right?
Yeah.
Right. I'm not a flat earther, but I would be able to. You would have to start off by proving it's not flat by defining the words that you're using.
Well, there's I don't even think you need to show even get a definition for proof to show that it's not flat Earth. There's too many things that are just right in your face.
Okay, well, again, I would still need to know what Dave requires as a proof to constitute as a proof that you could give to him to prove the globe Earth, the one that he's requiring. That's all I'm after, right? So, in order for you, right, what would you say a proof is?
Something that can be verified as true. Something that cannot be falsified. Simple. It's very simple.
Okie dokie.
How do you do that, though?
With evidence, facts.
Evidence and facts. Now, we have been going through a little bit of a thing today. What would you class as evidence?
Things that you would use to verify your truth.
Okay. So there's got to be some way to verify a proof, right? You can't use a disproof, can you? You must have to actually prove it.
What do you mean you can't use a disproof?
How can you verify a disproof?
By showing it's the whatever evidence is not to be true.
Showing some evidence that's not to be true.
Or being able to verify that a piece of evidence isn't true.
Okay, right. So in order for you to set up a disproof scenario, you have to put it into a statement in which it's a binary decision. It either is true or isn't true, right? Now, in the case of a globe flat type thing, when you're trying to prove something, this is why I'm saying it's a positive thing. Do you think you could just disprove the other and that will give you a proof of a globe? I mean,
no.
In the sense of the proof, right? That's what I'm saying. When you say it has to be verified, right? In the way that you have to be able to positively prove it rather than
Well, you would be able to use, or in this situation, I would be able to use a piece of globe evidence that disproves a flat Earth idea.
Well, that would be your idea that you've just generated, right? For like some sort of a straw man that you're trying to disprove, right? Well, we're not after that. Like, he's after a proof, so you can't give him a disproof of something else as a proof of a globe. I mean that.
Well, you kind of would have to, because it'd be like saying, and this is just throwing it out there. We know the sun on a flat Earth. They believe that the Earth or the sun would rotate above, but we know but there's evidence and observations that show it doesn't. But it correlates with what we see on a globe.
Yeah, you're not starting with like when you say if the Earth was flat, then this should happen. That's not something that could be falsified, right? Unless you could create a flat Earth and then get on that flat Earth, observe what the sun moving would look like, and then be like, oh, this is what it would look like. It doesn't, therefore verification.
I don't agree with that, because in that case, it would be, how do you know? Why would you say that the sun rotates above the Earth?
Yeah, but now you're getting into my personal. We've left proof, right? We've left proof, and now you're going. Yeah, well, that's why. Let's go back. We have to go back to proof.
Let's go back to proof then, right? So,
but
in order to prove something, do you think
at that point are we trying to start at a proof though?
Yes, we're trying to start at the first proof,
but
that leads all the way up to prove everything.
But if we don't, but if we don't agree it's a proof, then that's when you start establishing the evidence behind it. So you can't really start at a proof.
Right. Drop the model for a minute, Sean, and let's start at the first proof. What would you start with?
For Earth.
You would start with Earth.
No. I'm asking for the globe, basically.
No.
Just model.
Anything. Where would you start if you were going to build a proof of anything?
Okay.
Where would your first start be? Where's that point?
Building up on the evidence that I have.
So gaining evidence is your first proof.
Yeah, you would have to. You can't have a proof just because.
Yeah, well, that's where would you get the first? Okay, in order to start, like we've been through this. Do you believe you could have a proof for a straight line?
Not without the evidence to show you that proof. What I'm getting is like you want to start at a proof, but again, you can't start at a proof without the building of the evidence. So if I'm trying to
know what the proof is first, right? You said it had to be verified. That was one thing.
Because if I was doing that, I'd be like, and I kind of have to go back to the mindset because it's kind of
just
mindset
stick
that I
with
have
the
on
straight
it.
line to keep it dead simple. Like now, because we're trying to keep it as base as possible, right? Where we can start. So let's start with a straight line. Can you prove it, right? Because if you can prove it, and then I can check that, then that would be me verifying it, right? So that's step one, right?
If I say I can
go
prove,
in, that's a straight line, and me go in.
I can prove a straight line.
Yeah.
And you say, let me see it, see if I can falsify it.
Mm-hmm.
All you're going to be doing is looking at evidence.
Yeah. So how would you do that then? How would you prove a straight line?
I get a ruler, I get a pencil, and I draw a straight line.
Mm-hmm. That would be you drawing a straight line. How would you prove that was a straight line?
Again, it sounds like... Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. It sounds like you want me to say something that is just concrete proof. But the reality of it is, if I'm proving something to you, I'm going to have to show you evidence.
Yeah. Okay, so you draw it and you go, there's a straight line. And I go, well, it looks like a straight line. Where's the proof that it is a straight line?
That's what it is. The proof it's a straight line is the evidence that you looked at, and you can verify whether or not it's a straight line if you verify that it's not a straight line, then my proof that that's a straight line
Can I
is no
check
longer
it?
proof. Absolutely. Why not? Why couldn't you?
Okay, so I can pick
How
it
do
up.
you verify it?
I can pick it up and look at it, right?
You pick it up. You can measure from the line to a
And that
side of a paper.
your proof
on
is
both
that
ends.
like me looking at it, right? There's nothing else, nothing that
The
you
proof is the body of evidence being falsified or verified. That I mean, I don't understand what you're asking for, and the only way to explain a proof is for you to verify the evidence behind that proof.
Well, we were saying, like, first off, we would have to define it, what it is. Like, so you would state, I am here to prove that this straight line here is straight. Right? And then you would go to define the straight line. How would you do that?
I would define it by the straight edge that I drew it on. I define that being a straight line by the measurements from the line to the edge of the paper on 3 segments, stuff like that. And that would verify to me that I've proven a straight line.
Straight, though, how would you define straight? Just the word. Because you have to define that the line is straight, right? So what does straight mean?
From one point to another without deviation.
Okay. Without deviation.
To the next point.
Okay. Like a
How about
curve.
this? How about this? A straight line is the shortest distance between 2 points.
There you go. That sounds
that
good.
works too.
Now,
That works really good as a definition.
What you just said and what I said, from one point to another without deviation, it's the same thing.
Yeah, but his one is the shortest distance. That can be measured.
Yeah, but
I can measure that, and I can also make sure that it is the shortest distance, right? It can't be any
because
shorter.
deviation is based on a course. If I have plotted my course as a circle, okay, and I go in a circle, I did not deviate at all, but I didn't go straight.
Yeah, but we're talking about the straight line that I put on.
Yeah, exactly. But exactly, this is why your definition is not good. Because when you say something, when you said a path does not deviate, right? That word deviation is hinged upon the path, aka the circular path. Going circle, you are not deviating from the circle, but you are not in a straight line. So I have created a situation in which your definition of a straight line can also be a circle, therefore making your definition useless. And we're going to go to the next one, shortest distance between straight 2 points. Now, I cannot form a circle with that. So it is now solid and bound, and we will now work with that definition and not yours.
And checked by everybody. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, right? The definition is the proof. Can be checked, verified, and made sure. Now, that makes you understand what a straight line is, right?
Okay, but in that, saying the definition isn't a proof because I could still need to verify that, right?
Yeah,
Once
it
verified,
could be verified.
So all the ways that I would verify it would be the evidence that build upon that proof.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So that would constitute a proof for the straight line, right? Because you could always go, right, this is the baseline, this is where we're starting, this is a straight line.
And you can't get to the other point any faster way than this.
Yeah, but once you've done that, you've established that as a proof, right?
Yes.
So you can now use a straight line as being already proved. You don't need to prove it, but you have.
No, that's not true, because you would, in that sense, I would want to verify that it's the shortest distance.
Yep.
Just the definition alone doesn't make it a proof. The definition establishes that the evidence behind that proof makes it a proof.
Yeah, straight line.
So, I mean, when you say the definition makes it a proof, the definition doesn't make it a proof. The definition verifies the evidence that shows that it's a proof.
Yeah,
when you say evidence,
is the way for you to prove it. For fuck's sake, you can verify it.
Yeah.
There's no need to get all wrapped up in the words. It's just a straight line. There's a proof for it, and that's how you can prove it, by measuring.
Yeah, you would measure distances. You would take 2 points and you would measure distances. Now, one of those distances, numbers, kilometers, whatever, would be the lowest. Now, that lowest distance or that path between those 2 points, that lowest measured distance, that's your straight line.
Okay, and that's a buildup of evidence for the proof. Before Beth
there's no evidence. So you're vaguing logic. Hold on.
Okay, say it again.
Vague logic. When you say, don't say evidence. Speak specifically to what you're doing. Like, I'm not going to say there's evidence of a straight line. I'm going to say we can measure distances between 2 points, and one of those numbers will be the lowest. That lowest number is the straight line. Now, I never said evidence because evidence is vague. I use very specific terminology with very clear definitions, so you know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
When you say evidence, I don't know what you're talking about.
The measurements to find the shortest distance is the buildup of evidence. It's the
measurements.
It's the steps you take to verify the shortest distance.
Okay, it's measurements.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, good. No more words. We don't need more words. We're trying to make this less confusing, so we're going to keep the least amount of words to describe what we're trying to do.
Okay, then if you're talking about how to verify a proof, I'm using the words that you would use in this conversation. If you want to just talk vague,
and we don't need evidence. We don't need evidence. It's a vague word. You keep bringing in that vague word.
Evidence isn't a vague word. Evidence is not.
Yes, it is. It is the vaguest of all words, because what does it mean? It could be anything, right? Even proof is a vague word in terms of, like, it's not a specific thing that, hey, I've proven this specifically. Proof just has this inherent meaning of, I can demonstrate in reality this concept of my mind, so it becomes the concept of my mind and the demonstration in reality, so they are hooked, and that makes it a proof.
But if we're talking this concept thing like we did the other day, then everything we're saying is just a concept. Everything we're saying is more words than need to be said.
But there's the concept of the straight line, but there is also the straight line in reality, the shortest distance between 2 points. There is a connection there, and the logic is how we connect those two things.
It's just a line. It's not the shortest path. It's a line. That's if you want to talk.
Oh no, because there could be. A straight line is a line is the shortest distance between 2 points. That's it. We should be right there. We should be on the same page right now.
Yeah, a line is one-dimensional, so it doesn't need exist, right? But when we actually do geometry and we draw that line, like you said, you drew it with a pencil or on your ruler, whatever. You drew that line. Well, all we're talking about is from point A, the start, and point B, the end. Like, the line need not exist, but the shortest distance between those 2 points... That's a straight line, right? There's no getting around that.
Okay, then the straight line is vague. All we're talking about is point A, point B.
Yeah. 2 points. And it's the shortest distance between those 2 points is a straight line.
So saying that straight line is your evidence, but those 2 points are at the shortest distance.
Yeah. It cannot be curved is the point, because then it would be longer.
And then that just means the fact that we're talking about a straight line is just as vague as evidence as right the hand is saying.
Oh, come on. What?
It is real. Okay. All we're talking.
A straight line is vague. The shortest distance between points is vague to you. So when I say the shortest distance between 2 points, you have no idea what I'm talking about.
Absolutely exact. Mathematically perfect.
Beth literally just said that only thing that matters is point A and point B, that they're at the shortest distance. And the straight line verifies that they're at the shortest distance between each other, right?
No. The shortest distance would verify that the straight line is there. That is your point, that you were at the straight line, the shortest distance. The same thing between 2
so then
points.
We don't need to draw a line.
Yeah, we don't need to draw the line, yes.
No, you don't. You just
Very
use a ruler.
true. We do not need to draw the line.
Okay, so a straight line is not important. It's only that the point A and point B are at the shortest distance. And verifying that you would use a straight line and measure that straight line. all
would just measure
compiled
the
upon.
distance between
I
the
know you
two
don't like
points.
it, right, Dan? Yeah, that's all you need. You don't need to do a straight line. A straight line is vague. The measurement.
No, it's not vague, dude. And again, okay, it could be in terms of the shortest distance between 2 points. A straight line is not vague. It's very specific. Now, the distance that could be anything. So that part is vague. But what a straight line is in this term is very specific. The shortest distance between 2 points, whatever that distance may be,
is elemental, Sean. It's not in by no means is it vague.
Yeah.
The only thing
number,
vague here is you.
The number would be precise. Also, that actual shortest distance, whatever units you're using, would be precise.
I hate to do it this way, Bev, but I've made a personal rule that I will not be talking in your voice chat if ND then P is here because he can't be an adult.
All right, Sean, run away.
See you then. Later.
Yeah, no problem. Have a good one.
Bye.
Wow, they'll talk to me and not you, DP. Hats off.
He hates me.
You've done something. How hard is it?
It was over at Geo's. There's something happened on that night, DP. Right, you did something to him. You damaged him that night at Geo's when we did the 3-room switch.
Mm-hmm. How hard is it though to agree to like something as simple as like every carpenter that's worth his salt knows if you measure an empty space with a measuring tape, pull it as taut as you can, get your measurement, and you go to cut that board. If you take that same measurement and bow the tape measure, motherfucker's gonna be too long. It's it. How much more simple can it be?
You can't get any more simple than that.
Or if you take that same measurement,
I've never done that before.
Or if you blow the measurement, it'll be shorter. It's not like crazy, man.
If he's gonna talk, are we having a chat, John?
You want to?
It doesn't sound like you. What are you doing? Have you got somebody else there? Have you sold your account? You got a mate over.
Is that better?
Like, did you just flick a switch there? Like
no,
a different person.
I was sitting back on my couch, so I was further from the mic.
Sound like a therapy want to talk if I'm here. Shall I leave the room?
Oh no!
Don't address me.
Look, don't address you.
DP,
don't undress him.
It sound like a therapy session. I'm laid back on the couch, coming to talk to my therapist.
Yeah.
You don't relax on your couch, Red?
I'm relaxing on my couch
I'm
right
sorry. Maybe that's the problem.
I hope you're recording this.
Oh, Branch is in the green room at Bob's. That could be. I might have to turn that back up again if they. Do you reckon the chances that Bob's going to?
They will not let him in. No way. No way. He's been in Gems annoying the crap out of them for the last 12 hours.
Bob and all of the guys over there know Branch?
Yes.
Do they?
Bob will know Branch, yes. I'm sure he will. If he doesn't, he'll soon learn and it'll be quite amusing.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying. Keep an eye on that. And then
what Branch will do first is Branch will sound intelligent at first. But then when everyone gets comfortable, then he turns it on.
He is so funny, Branch. He just cracks me up. I think half the time he pretends to be drunk, so he has an excuse.
No. Well, again, no. He just loves trolling, but the drunk parts, that's real.
He really is that drunk.
Yeah, he gets drunk all the time.
You got nowhere else to be, Sean?
No,
Are you really that lonely?
He's put.
Yeah.
He's in Branch in the
chat. It's okay though,
chat.
because I have a best friend in you. If you guys didn't know, me, F, and D, and then P, we're best friends now.
You didn't want anything to do with me earlier, and all of a sudden you come in here telling everybody that we're best friends. Sean, you're a freak, man.
Did you have your first domestic?
You left the room because of me earlier.
Yeah.
And now you want to pretend that we're bezies.
No, we've been best friends for at least since New Year's. At least.
This is cute.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
And then you come in here and you accuse me of something so bad that you have to leave the room, Sean.
Oh, no. I left the room before because we were having a conversation about something, and then you chimed in on it. I don't want to be having a conversation about
you told everybody in the room that you were leaving because I addressed you, Sean.
Yeah, in the conversation that we were
having.
And he
didn't even make it as a potato. That's poor, that, DP.
Yeah.
You can't be that obsessed if you completely forgot who he was on the potato list. Sure.
This is true.
Potato list.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't even make it to the potato list, Sean. So
the potato list.
Yeah.
You're a nobody.
I know I am. I never said I was somebody.
Well, that's good then.
When you do your test, though, you might.
Nah, I don't even think then.
Have you seen the logic that they're going to be doing over at Bob's? Did you see any of that?
Over where?
You know when we were doing it over at Geo's? We did the logic. Did you ever see any of that?
I think I'd already left the server.
Yeah. Have you ever seen any of our logic?
I don't think so.
Right.
I don't really watch YouTube like that anymore.
Right. Well, this is logic, right? So.
Guess you're about ready then.
Do you want to? If I show you some propositions, let's see whether I've got them. I should have them. Because we're going to have to go over this anyway.
Do you a t-shirt if you want, Sean?
I don't need a t-shirt. Thank you, though.
I can't even remember.
It'll be done with love.
I'm going to pass.
Right.
That's a gem tater. Is that a sticker, Emma?
No. It's an emoji. There's loads of them.
Gem tater's an emoji? Really?
There's loads of them, yes.
Uh-huh.
There you go.
There's a couple of new ones in the meme room, if you fancy having a go at them, Emma.
I didn't put the last ones on, so I think Bev did those.
There's a toon tater, a fat tater,
and
a twat tater.
Little ones, because I think they're too big. I don't know how to make them little files. DP makes them all fucking like 6 meg or something, and it's like you need 256 KB. DP's got like these fucking big wazzing posters, and it's going no for a little tiny emoji. DP, no, put it on the fucking side of your building.
Sorry, Sean wanted to speak logic, so I'm interrupting the flow of conversation.
Right. Do you like Newton?
No.
Sean.
He was mean.
Talking to Sean.
Oh.
Yeah, he does.
Right. Isaac Newton said the description of right lines and circles upon which geometry is founded belongs to mechanics. Geometry does not teach us to draw these lines, but requires them to be drawn. Ta-da. Right, so geometry is actually the forming of the lines, and the lines get the proofs.
You agree with him, right?
When he says that, yeah.
Okay.
Because he uses right lines instead of straight lines, right? Because that's back in the day. There was no such thing. There was no word as straight. It was just right.
I wouldn't agree with that.
Okay. But a right line makes a right angle. Two right lines intersecting make a right angle. So it makes sense that the straight lines are right lines and the right lines make the right angles.
But I
the right
would,
angle triangle.
but I definitely wouldn't say they didn't use the word straight lines. That's reaching.
Okay. So we've got Euclid's elements, the lines that are required to be drawn through mechanics. And in this, as like a logical work of art, the way that you form logical statements, you can be an if-then, or it can be like an entire statement, right? So check this one out. Straight lines, more than one, two. Straight lines which are parallel to the same straight line are parallel to each other. Do you reckon to that?
Sounds legit.
Sounds rock solid legit, right? And then there's a little diagram with a line that's crossing through them. And that goes to show that the vertical angles are the same. And that's the way you can prove that the lines are parallel. So that's a proof, like with geometric proof and all the proofs that come before it also. Right, now from that statement, because the basic principles of it are straight lines parallel to the same straight line, right? So we're gonna have a mess about with that logic and see whether we can replace that. I mean, because straight lines, although they're meant to be drawn, you must have seen our thingy logic, right? T-shirt logic. Were you around then, Sean, or did you disappear? Were you gone?
Disappeared. I probably wasn't around.
Oh, right. Oh, well.
I think it was at the very beginning of all that.
And
I took off.
Okie dokie. Right, well, we made this T-shirt logic. Can you see in the live chat?
Yeah.
Right, well, we made this is the T-shirt logic. And that A parallel to B, that's our I couldn't find a way of saying straight lines parallel to another one. So I did A parallel to B. Then A is parallel to A and B is parallel to B to show that straight lines parallel to the same straight line are parallel to each other. I just made A parallel to B and showed that multiple A's would be parallel to A. But that's the basic one, right? I couldn't represent it any other way. But we took that principle of that to say if horizontals, all horizontals, right? Multiple straight lines are parallel to the plane of the horizon, another straight line, then all horizontals are parallel to each other. Pretty much like the first one. Multiple straight lines parallel to the same straight line, therefore all parallel to each other.
But it's at a point.
What's at a point? It doesn't mention a point in the logic there, no.
Well, I'm just saying in general.
Pardon?
I was saying in general, if you're referencing one horizontal to another horizontal, it's going to be from point to point. So if you're going to say, put a bubble level up, going to be parallel to the horizon, and from that point, yes. From that point to point, yes. But, if that line is, say, 26,000 miles, compared to a bubble level, it's very, very minute compared to the horizon that you're comparing it to. That horizon can look straight because it's very large, has some very large segments between it. But I'm sure you have something to say that would go against that. But it can be shown.
Yeah, well, this one's based as a like that first one when it said about straight lines. It was more of a statement, right? But then we changed it to say if and a then, right, rather than just a statement that ended up proving something, right? Statement to be proved. We turned it into an if then. So the if is if horizontals are parallel to the plane of the horizon. Right, then all horizontals are parallel to each other. So we deal with the if part first, I'd say.
Okay.
Are horizontals parallel to the plane of the horizon?
It's from point to point, yes.
From point to
whatever
point?
you're using, yeah, well, whatever you're using to reference. So if you have two horizontal lines, say a bubble level, it's only going to be level from that point. It's only going to be. It's only going to be
parallel to the plane.
Parallel at that point. Yeah.
It would be parallel to the plane of the horizon, though, right?
At that point, yes.
Well, if you were to turn through 90 degrees, would it be parallel to the same one that you've just had? Could you make a square? And all of those lines would be parallel on the same plane?
No, the two lines would be parallel to the other line and vice versa. They wouldn't all be parallel to each other. No, absolutely not.
No, the squares of the sides of a square are parallel to the opposite.
Yes.
Right, now, if you have all of them, would they be on the same horizontal plane?
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Right, okay. So that one, they don't have to be parallel to each other because they're already on the same horizontal plane. Now, if you were to step...
But even then, that's still point to point. But if we're talking, where are you going to use point to point? For instance, your full view.
Well, I'm saying, like, every one of those, would they be parallel to the horizon?
In that situation, absolutely.
Right, and if you're looking 90 degrees each way, they would all be parallel to the plane of the horizon. So... all the way around.
At that point.
Yeah.
For each
all
point.
the way around on that square. The entire
that wouldn't be
thing.
The same, but it still wouldn't be the same point. It'd be different reference points.
It would be one plane that you've just made with whatever it is, the device that you're doing, of however big it is, where the horizontals would all be parallel to the plane of the horizon, whichever direction you were looking.
Yeah. Whatever you're using to reference that, every time you turn, you change your reference. So that means you're changing your point.
Well, you are developing a plane that is called a horizontal plane.
If you were to stand at one spot and use a bubble level, it would be parallel to the horizon. If someone went 5 miles down and did the same thing, it's going to be parallel to their point.
Yeah, but it would still be parallel to the same one that you've just used behind, wouldn't it?
It will. If you had a long enough string, I don't think it would be. I think you would create a different situation.
Do you know what parallel means?
Yes.
Right. So when you have a horizontal, you establish a horizontal plane.
A horizontal point, yes.
Plane.
No, you create a horizontal point. It's your reference, right where you're standing.
No, Sean. You have a horizontal plane. Do you know what that is?
Let me see if I can show you. I have it in my phone.
Do you know what a plane is?
Yes.
Yeah. Have you looked up for the definition of horizontal?
Of course.
Anywhere?
Yes, and each time it still isn't to reference of where you're standing on Earth.
What does it say? What does it say when you look up horizontal?
We both know what horizontal is. We want to
parallel to the plane of the horizon, is it?
Yeah.
You might
that
seem
point
to
is
be
very. When I say that point, Reference
the
to where you're
plane. Your mic's going all funny, Sean.
I bet. I sat back again. It's in reference to where you're standing, no matter
the plane.
If you're your point.
The plane.
You can say plane. You're standing.
I will.
Yeah, but it's point.
Establish a horizontal plane. You know what the horizontal plane is?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Now, when we say the horizontal, like whatever tool you're going to establish with the horizontal, what's that? What tool are you going to use? Yeah.
Well, just like you use a bubble level, a spirit level,
okay,
same
right.
thing. But
okay, a spirit level then, right? Now, how big is it?
We'll say just for a foot.
Oh, what? You've got a 12-incher?
Yeah, a small one, right?
Piddly one. Okay, let's start off with that. All right, fair enough.
Yeah, no, it's just a start point.
You've got one there, right? Now you hold it up to your eye level, right? Or near your eyes. Now, is that, when it's level, is that parallel to the horizon? The plane of the horizon?
The point you're standing at, yes.
Okay, right. Now, let's imaginary space, lock it there in space as you're looking at it, because it's 12 inches, right? You can just about turn your head, right? You've not got a 12-inch head, have you? No. You could put your head within this box now, and we're going to 90 degrees. We're going to put another little 12-inch level, and we're going to look out to the horizon that way. Would that, if we level it off, would that be parallel with the plane of the horizon?
So it's like another foot away. So
it's just at a right angle, right? Because your head's right in it. All you've done is turn 90 degrees, and another one.
So we're standing at the same point. Yes.
Yeah. Right now, we're going to do that twice. So like we've got a full square box. All of these bits being horizontal at our eye level, and we've just turned round. Now they meet up again. All of the corners match up because it's all at the same level, right? That square, if you were to put a plank of wood on top of that, that would be a horizontal plane, wouldn't it? That's what you would be classing as a horizontal plane. Not at any point, because all of the points on that plane would be at the same...
No, it would be at that point.
Which point?
The point you're standing at.
Yeah, but we've just made a square, a 1 foot square box.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that would be a horizontal plane. That square, wouldn't it?
At that point, yes.
The whole square. Every point on that square that we've just established would be called horizontal because it's on a horizontal plane of 1 square. Now, it's a plane, right? I know you might be struggling at horizontal, but every time we looked, we were looking out, and the horizon was parallel with the horizontal that we had there. Now, we're going to go back, keep our head in this little box, and we're going to extend it out. We're going to go, let's say, use a 6 foot. Let's get a good brickies one. And we'll do exactly the same. We'll build another square, but this one's 6 foot square. That would be parallel. That square would be parallel to the first square, wouldn't it? If not, it's on the same horizontal, but it would be definitely parallel to it, wouldn't it?
Yes.
And then if we go out like 10 meters and do another square, like whichever way we were facing, that horizontal plane would be parallel to the other two.
At the same point? If you're doing all this on the same point?
Yeah, you're just stood there turning round in circles, right? But all of these squares that you're making around you, they're all parallel to each other, aren't they?
If you're doing that to the horizon, then you're still only referencing from 1 point. Okay,
Still,
so
we're making planes though, and these planes are getting bigger, and all of the horizontal planes established are parallel to each other. No matter how big we keep making these squares around the point that you're at, when you keep turning, you're making bigger and bigger squares, but every time you do, they are all parallel to not only each other, but the plane of the horizon every time.
okay, so I'm gonna put this in the chat real quick. So the two red boxes represent, or the bottom red box, the top of it would represent the horizon, and the top red one would represent whatever you're using, whatever tool you're using, and then those two lines are parallel to each other, correct?
Well, yeah, that's what it looks like. Yes.
Okay. So, in referencing that, what you're looking at is one point of that observation, right? So, and when I say that point, this is why I keep saying that same point, because this is the same thing that you're looking at, just zoomed out with the line, with the horizontal line above it. So from one point, it's parallel, but that doesn't mean what you're referencing. You're only referencing a small area of something. That circle that I just put in the chat is the same circle, just everything is zoomed in. So you're like you said, what you were looking at, the first picture, that reference point, those lines are horizontal to each other. There is no doubt about it. I'm not going to argue that. It's clear. You can see that they are horizontal. They're parallel to each other, right? In that first picture, but the horizon part of that picture is not a straight line.
Sorry, you've just got. You mean which is the horizon part of that picture? You've just got red and white lines with the yellow bit on it as well. Like, are you presuming one of those is the horizon?
The bottom red one is the horizon. The top red one is whatever tool you're using. But those two red, or you can say red boxes, from those, they're parallel to each other, right? There's no doubt about it. They are parallel to each other.
Yeah, I know what parallel means. Like, that's what we were saying.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
like,
but in the second picture,
where would you draw the unparalleled horizontals that you're looking for? Whereabouts would they belong? The ones that prove that not all horizontals are parallel to each other. Where's that?
So where would the other one be?
I'm saying, like, if we say, if all horizontals are parallel to the plane of the horizon, then all horizontals are parallel to each other. Right? Then where would you... Because, I'm guessing you're going to want to disagree with it somewhere. I was just trying to show you that the horizontals are always parallel to the plane of the horizon. Therefore, all horizontals have to be parallel to each other.
Okay, so if that's the case, if that's the case, and if you're only going to stick to the one idea of it, then it's not correct, because if that's the case, what you just looked at would mean when that means that line, the horizon line, couldn't be parallel to it, because what you're looking at is a curved line.
Where?
That is parallel to your straight line. Where? That first picture. That first picture is exactly what I just said. You're looking at... I can share it again if you need to.
You're looking at a plane that you've decided to cut off at a circle.
I didn't cut off. All I did was zoom in on it. And in that... And
yeah, but we... Like, earlier on, we were making squares, right? Weren't we? Like, when I was explaining it to you, we were doing it with squares because that was easier. You've just decided to put one of them as a circle instead.
Okay, yeah, I did.
Yeah,
and in doing that, is what you're looking at two parallel boxes? Are they parallel to each other?
Planes, yeah. Do you know what a
so-
two-dimensional plane is? The difference
if
between the
those two
shape
are-
of a
if they're
square
parallel
and a
to each
circle.
other, what
Could
you're
have made
saying
it a
is
triangle if you'd have wanted. We should have done that
so
first, shouldn't we?
can a curved surface have a parallel point with a straight
A parallel
straight line?
point.
Yeah,
Please
that's what we're
explain.
looking at. Okay, I can do it again. The two red boxes you're looking at are parallel to each other. One represents the horizon. One represents the tool that you're using. At that point,
What point?
the point you're standing at, the point you're looking at this.
My point.
Okay, I mean you can go around.
But
in
the
circles if you
lines,
like,
the
but-
lines are parallel, right?
Yes.
What's the point
Well,
that
wait,
I'm
better
at got
yet,
to do with
better
it?
yet, no, those lines actually aren't parallel, but at that point they are.
What that? At what point?
The point you're looking at.
You know, a point is that of which has no parts.
Okay. Okay. So in the small
you
segment
don't think
between
parallels
point
exist?
A and point A to point B, which we'll say is a quarter of a millimeter,
What?
is parallel
From point
to each
A
other.
to point B.
Yeah. From one end of the picture of the illustration to this other side of the
Quarter of
illustration.
a
is one to B.
millimeter. Did you just say?
Well, if you're referencing, okay, I'll show you the line that's on.
What line?
The line that represents the tool we're using.
The
Hang
line
on.
that represents the tool.
Should I make it a different color so it's?
I don't know how
easier
many
for you?
tools there are around here, Sean.
Let's see, I can make this easier for you. Like this. And so questions on it
DP,
then.
I want to prove what the Earth is, not what is not.
Okay, so are these two lines parallel?
Wait a minute, I need to do that again. I didn't quite get that right.
Uh,
DP! Exclamation mark. I want to prove... Oh, fucking hell. Sean. DP, I want to prove what the Earth is, not what is not. Nice. Wow,
Just
we've
shared
got
another
another
picture.
extra one here. Where's the green one come from? These drawings,
Well,
Sean, you're getting
yeah,
really
I
bad
see.
at this, man.
Because I changed the color of the tool, the parallel line that we're using as the tool, or horizontal line that we're using as a tool. I changed the color so it will represent it better.
Right, so
those
what's
two
this
lines
now
are-
then? What are you
Okay,
saying?
are those two lines parallel?
Wait,
No.
which one of
Clearly.
those is meant to represent a horizontal, and which one of those is meant to represent the plane of the horizon? Because that's that's all we've got in the logic.
The red
Okay.
red from now on. So because I changed the colors for you, so it makes it easier. The red one is the horizon.
That's the plane
the
of the
green-
horizon.
The green one is the tool that we're using, the spirit level, or whatever you want to call it, the tool that we're using.
So that doesn't
establishes
right
that.
at that where it doesn't look like it's parallel to the plane of the horizon at all. That's
At all.
Yeah.
At all.
Oh
Okay,
no.
so hang on. Okay, so
Have you
are
got? Have you
are
ever
these ones?
looked for any definitions of it yet in
I don't
mathematics?
hang on. Are these two lines parallel? Are these the two? Are those parallel?
Was this picture fucking flash test? Which one of
is
those is the horizon? The plane
horizon
of
is
the
the red-
horizon, and
the
which one
horizon
of
is the red
those
one.
is a
The same-
horizontal?
I just explained that, Bev. The red one is a horizon. The green one is whatever tool we're using to establish this.
Right, so neither of them, right, are actually horizontals or the plane of the horizon.
Wait.
It's just
the pic-
just
the
a
la-
drawing
the
that
last-
you've drawn.
The
Sean.
last picture that
This is a bit
I
embarrassing,
drew,
Sean.
It's not. The last picture that I just put
Is
in
this
there,
your
or
rebuttal
last
to the
draw-
logic? Don't like it.
The
It was very
last-
simple logic, Sean.
Bev,
Like,
why are
I
you
know.
cutting me off now?
Well, are you? Because
The last-
you're doing a
Are
QE.
those?
Like we've presented you with some logic,
Uh-huh.
and what you have done is done a QE and shown us a picture of something that isn't related to it at all.
Yes, it is. We're
It's
talking
not.
about a horizon and whatever tool you're using representing a parallel.
No, we're talking about horizontals
that's
being
exactly what it was.
parallel to the plane of the horizon, Sean.
Okay, is that the green one being a tool in this example parallel to the red box, which would be represent the horizon?
I don't know, Sean. This is your representation of it. I mean, how's this meant to combat the logic of if all horizontals are parallel to the horizon?
So are you going to avoid just the obviousness of this conversation to act like you don't know what's going on? Because we've already gone over this, and it was actually simpler before I changed the color on it, for you to understand that one box was the horizon, the other one was whatever tool we're using, a spirit level or whatever, to show that these two lines are parallel to each other. And I'm trying to show you that when we're looking at the horizon and we're using, say, a small spirit level or a 3 foot, doesn't matter how big it is, at that point, it is parallel. I'm showing you that right now. But it doesn't mean, and it doesn't prove that it's not a globe because of this. Because that's how you keep making it seem. You keep making it seem, well, because that horizontal and that horizon
You're
are
not
parallel.
making a scene, Sean.
I am?
No, I said I'm not making a scene. Do you think? I think you're actually making a fool out of yourself, but I wouldn't say you're making a scene.
I think I'm explaining it exceptionally well. And up until the point where you realize that those two lines that were parallel in one picture weren't actually truly parallel to the whole horizon, I think that's when you kind of switched off and then made it seem as if I didn't know what I was talking about. But you've already made it clear that you understood what I was saying, and that you understood
Sean,
what I was showing you.
Where would this happen? Just give us a hint on where you would find a horizontal not parallel to the plane of the horizon.
When you're standing on the beach, compared to someone who's 5 miles down that same beach doing the same test, those horizontals will not be parallel to each other, because on that circle, that circle that I was showing you,
the horizontals would not be parallel to each other.
Yes.
Why would that be? Because if you were looking at each other,
so
they both would have a horizontal parallel to the plane of the horizon.
Yeah, exactly.
So they would be parallel to each other then, wouldn't they?
They would be parallel to that point on the horizon.
Yeah, if one of them was on the horizon looking back at the other one, they would both be parallel to each other, wouldn't they?
No, actually, I can show you this again.
You'd say they wouldn't be parallel to each other.
I'll show you again. Okay, so I'll just do this.
They would be parallel to each other, though, wouldn't they, Sean?
No.
No.
No, I'm going to show you right now how it's no. You know what would be easier if I just shared my screen? If I could share my screen here.
Like that one. Contour lines. You see the way they're all parallel. Couldn't imagine that one of them's down the beach at one end and the other one's at the beach at the other end, and they would be both parallel. Sean.
Okay. Can you? I just shared. Can you see my screen?
Oh, are you going to be drawing more lines?
Yeah.
Sean?
Yeah. Yep.
This is embarrassing. Like you. This is really embarrassing, Sean.
Look. I want to show you. It's pretty simple.
It's like these magic tricks don't work, Sean. Like
they're not magic tricks. That's the funny part about it. So that straight line
for training.
That straight line.
Rumpus trained you on this.
Yeah, that straight line that you were looking at is same thing.
Is everybody in watching this?
So
I am. Yeah, this is awesome.
So at that point, those lines appear parallel to each other.
Which point?
Right, what you're looking at right now.
Yeah, but can you put the cursor on the point that where it is?
This is parallel. This is parallel to this one.
Right,
this
which
one?
Where's your horizontal point?
the red line. This right here, top
But
of the
the
red line.
entire
This
red
box.
line's the horizontal point.
Yes. Yes. Are they horizontal?
So it's a line
to each other?
then. It's that entire horizontal line.
Sure.
Wait a minute. Zoom out a bit. Zoom out a bit, Sean. Let's have a look at this horizontal. That's the the red one. The red one's the horizontal. Really, Sean? Are you sure?
That's the fun. Okay.
Do you want a mulligan? Do you want to take a mulligan, Sean?
You ought to. You really ought to.
Yeah. See, that's the best part because you
The
guys
entire red line, Sean. Get back to your mic. Get back to your mic. You're moving away, Sean.
You've already established that these
Circular,
two lines that we're
horizontal.
looking at.
Fucking hell, Sean.
You've already established that these two lines that we're looking at are parallel to each other.
Who has?
You did already. You've already said it. I don't need you to say it
I've
again.
not
It's
said
perfectly
that
fine.
a circle is parallel to a straight line.
I know you did,
Sean, you
but when I
muppet.
showed you,
Give over.
These two boxes, and you said yes, they are parallel to each other. That's when I did show
You
you
said
that it
the
was
red
actually,
one was horizontal.
right. Look,
It's a circle.
Are those two lines parallel to each other?
No. One
So
of them's
they're
a
not?
circle. The other one's a straight line.
Well,
I know it's a graphics package
whatever.
and all of
You
that.
know what?
Yeah,
We don't have to go over it again because I've already you've already said it, so I don't really care.
Sean, give
on
over.
that same
You are
thing-
such a fucking
that same-
muppet.
Okay.
Sean, your
you're
comedy value
delusional,
is
mate.
off the scale,
Good.
man.
The best part.
That
best
didn't
part
work. Go
is
back
I've
to
already got
go
it where
back
you
to
said you
HQ.
did.
Tell him
So
that
I
one
don't-
didn't
You
work,
don't need
Sean.
to play the game of you never said it, Bev. Because if you want me to, I
Sean,
can go
piss
back and I
off,
can
you
replay you saying it.
fucking cretin.
Magic trick, Sean. That's terrible. You are no wizard. These tricks do not work.
Fucking what a wanker.
Can I ask you like 2 questions, Sean? No? Are you familiar with begging the question fallacy and the implication of using one of those in your proof?
After having so much to say, he's now got nothing to say.
Oh no! I'm actually going back and I'm gonna pull up the clip where you actually agreed that those were parallel to each other. Even though you keep saying you didn't.
Fucking
But it's okay.
hell,
I'll come
Sean.
back when I do that. Okay. That way you guys can.
I hit a circle.
Wrap yourself.
Yeah. Disguised it as a straight line. Fucking wanker,
Can I
Sean.
point out as well? I don't know whether it by intention or whatever, but I might have put a picture up there. Somebody's bit onto it. A NASA shill has pointed out that horizontal is a plane perpendicular to plumb. Also calls it gravity as well, and the direction of gravity.
You need to have a word with paid NASA shill, Sean.
Yeah. He's talking
And
about a
quick smart.
horizontal being perpendicular. Seems a bit weird because you kept talking about a point as well, and he keeps saying it's a plane being in a plane perpendicular. I mean, like it completely bypasses the point.
Sorry, I have to say he's not in the room no more.
Well, yeah, it's all right. I mean, I'm still recording this. We've got 40 minutes. So, anyone want to recap of what the fuck Sean just did?
Well, I just came in at the end, but yeah, he used the begging the question fallacy to prove his point. Trying to also say that a straight line can be parallel to a circle is just an equivocation fallacy on top of it.
The circle as being horizontal. He said that red. I asked him where the
Yeah.
horizontal point was. He said the red what? The red line. The entire red line was a circle. So his horizontal point is a circle. Which I know it is.
But of course, horizontal is a line. Like you cannot have a horizontal point. That makes no sense, and it is not real.
Circle, but
no more than you can have a horizontal circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He exposed the trick for everyone to see, and we all saw it, right?
I'm so glad I came in at the end.
He's trying to underhandedly get away with a fucking horizontal circle. But you said it, Bev. You said it.
He's just not clever enough to do that in any way, shape, or form.
He might be running off now to whoever his masters are. And I've got Bev saying it's a clip, right? I showed him these two red lines on the picture, and then I swapped one of the red ones for a green one, and then when I showed him that zoomed out, it was a circle. Bev thinks a circle's parallel to it. No, Sean, that was fucking terrible.
If you enjoyed the content, please support On the Level and future projects. Membership subscriptions available now, or come and get involved at Next Level Discord server. Thank you.